This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to join by Stephen Swifty Smith here of Rotunda ABC. Stephen, how are you?
Oh, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's been a while since we last spoke and caught up. Obviously, last time we saw each other was out in Texas. So, how's life been treating you since, away from obviously the obvious retirement?
Do you know what? All good. Been a good year for me. Yeah, my wife had a little girl, so a new daughter to the family. I've got my 2 sons, and now I've got my little girl. So. Life's changed a lot, but you know, back to night feeds and stuff. I can't have too much credit. My wife does a lot, do you know what I mean? But I'm happy, do you know what I mean? I'm good, and it's good to pop in here now and then and see the lads. Don't do much training, but I get to see everyone and go for some food after it.
I was going to say, you've turned up for the post-fight meal, effectively.
That's it, yeah. Just turn up, do a couple of interviews and then get off.
Stephen, obviously both Liam and Callum have big fights coming up. Let's just start off with Callum, as he's the closest to today. He fights on the Joshua-Usyk card next weekend against Lenin Castillo. Just want to get your thoughts on seeing Callum back in this gym, training with buddy McGirt. What's been your take on their link-up?
Good. Listen, I'm happy for Callum. He's happy. He's you know what else saying, happy fighter, dangerous fighter, but he's looking really well. He's getting a few things off what he's being asked to do, and you know he's firing in sparring at the right time. Now he really looks like he's starting to peak at the right time, and he's going into next week in a good place, and it's going to be good to see him at light heavy. Listen, people cried out for him to move up when he was at super middle. We knew it weren't killing him to the weight, but opportunities wise, it's a good move for him, and it's a good division. So you know, we know he can go into that and make a statement, and you know, people have been mentioning all these domestic light heavies, and no one's even mentioning Callum, and it's the way we like it. Do you know what I mean? Let him come through, and we know what he can do, and we know what a force he's going to be.
It's something I asked Callum earlier. You know, is there anybody in that domestic light heavyweight scene he has his eyes on? Obviously, he's looking towards world honours. Is there anybody who you'd like to see him face domestically?
No, not really. Like I say, listen, he was the Ring Magazine #1. He's champion, super middleweight. He's the #1 in the division. He's stepping up to light heavy. He's not stepping up to light heavy to go and win a British title, do you know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to the title, but you know, he's world class. He's going in there for world honours. He's got his eyes set on, you know, your Bivols and your Joe Smiths, your Purewal. So I don't see him looking domestically, but you know, when people are mentioning light heavyweight and British light heavies, he's going to be the name on people's list the minute he gets this fight out of the way, and he announces himself in this light heavyweight division. It's going to be Callum Smith and the rest.
What changes do you think we will see in Callum's performance next weekend from his time working with Buddy? What has Buddy been able to incorporate into Callum's skill set?
He's just got a lot of his own mindset. Buddy's just a lot of simplistic things what he does, and the way he puts it across is just so easy to see, and easy to see why he wants it, to explains it, says it how it is, and then you're a bit like, yeah, no, what I get that, and things that will work with Callum, and what he's getting off now, what you're seeing, and you're thinking, wow, yeah, do you know what? It's a good fit, and things are working now, and you've seen, if you've watched his last two spars, you can see what I'm on about and what he's doing, and how well he's getting things off, and it's only going to improve him. Just have most things to his bow. I say this, listen, with anyone, you know, moving on and changing trainers and picking up knowledge off another trainer, it can only add to you. You know what I mean? You don't sort of, by moving to another trainer, forget everything you've learned in the past. You just add to yourself and just more strings to your bow, as I said. And he's going to keep improving as a fighter. You know, got to remember, he's 31 now. You know, around his life, he's still got many years ahead of him to go on and be a force at light heavyweight and go and be a two-weight world champion, which is a special achievement.
Moving on to Liam, who's obviously getting ready for a big local derby with Smith-Fowler. You know, it was no secret that Liam was holding out for either a big a big like an eliminator or just a big fight for himself. But this in itself, it is a big fight for him, for the city, and there's a buzz about it. Have you seen anything different in Liam going into this fight, especially with some form of momentum on the back of Corbinov?
Yeah, no, listen, Liam is what he is. You'll know with Liam, he doesn't cut no corners. He's but always told how it is, but basically he's very matter of fact. When he says, he gets in this gym, he gets in the shape he can be in, getting the best shape of his life, he goes in this fight, and he's a big favourite against Andi Fowler, and that's across everyone's lips. Liam's been in, mixed with, and performed at a much higher level than Fowler's ever been at, never mind what he's capable of, do you know what I mean? And I just think he knows that, if he was to get in and not be in the shape he should be, or get in and not be ready for it and loses, then that's too hard to come back from. So he knows, and he's training the way he's training, because he knows by getting that ring 100% ready, the best Liam Smith always beats the best Andi Fowler, and that's in most people's opinions anyway, do you know what I mean? And I think looking at him and knowing what he's working on, what he's bringing to the game, I'm very excited for it, because his own mindset, his own mentality, and his own way he sees this fight going is going to be a good, exciting night for Liverpool after all the COVID lockdown stuff and no one being able to get to boxing. It's good to see everyone getting back out and enjoying themselves, and I hope they all go and enjoy the night and enjoy what's going to happen in the boxing. And I'm very, very confident in Liam gets the job done and gets him out there.
How much of a difference will, for Liam, having the Korbanov fight so close to this event make for him being able to kind of stay on weight, being sharp still? How much of a difference will that?
It does. Listen, it always helps going in on the back of another camp, because as long as you get the rest period in the middle, which he had, you find that your body's sort of ready and in fight mode a lot quicker than what if you've had time out the ring, and you just sort of back to it and it just goes again, and you start clicking, you start fighting a lot quicker, and things become easier. I haven't done them all before, so shortly beforehand. So yeah, it was a good thing for Liam, and that only benefits Liam. Liam has long periods out the ring. It's sort of not beneficial to him, the time period it's going to take to get back in and get the weight off and stuff like that, whereas he hasn't had them problems this time round. He's been straight back in, straight into camp. All the sparring's going well, all the training's going well, and he's excited, as we all are, for this night on October 9th. It's going to be an exciting night for Liverpool, but it's going to be a good one, for Liam on a personal level, because, as I say, he's been getting a lot of people sort of messaging and texting, lad, can't wait for this, can't wait to see this, can't wait to see this, and it's been like, oh, okay, so a lot of people are excited about it, about what the outcome's going to be, and we're excited also as a family.
Stephen, just moving forward, just a few fights I want to get your thoughts on. Obviously, Callum next week on the AJ-Usyk card. What's your take on that headline event, Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk?
I think a lot depends on Usyk. I think if Usyk comes in, built up and heavy, I think it's not the toughest of nights for Anthony Joshua. I think, people have got to remember, Usyk was an unbelievable cruiserweight, and one of the best in the world. He's undisputed champion, won every belt, and class act. And I've watched him in many years in the amateurs, and the way he can move and judge distance and get his shots off, read the opponents and land his own shots, from a southpaw stance is unbelievable. But going and doing that with an extra 2 stone of weight on you over 12 threes is so hard to do, because carrying extra weight, his muscles will gas earlier than what obviously they would have. And if he starts siding in the second half of the fight, Anthony Joshua's done rounds before, and I know he's had a lot of knockouts, but he's been a heavyweight his whole career, so he's used to it a lot more. And I see Joshua coming on more late if Usyk's coming in heavy. But if Usyk comes in leaning light and able to do 12 rounds moving at a pace, I think it's a very tough night for Anthony Joshua. Usyk's skill set's unbelievable, and if he can keep getting off the line and getting his own attacks off, it's a tougher night than you'd imagine for Anthony Joshua, and it's going to be interesting to see. I'd like to see what shape Usyk's in before I make a prediction, but I'm thinking if he comes in too heavy, I'd pick Joshua.
Crawford Porter, again, just your thoughts on that?
Again, another very good fight. Sean Porter, very underrated fighter. Everyone seems to struggle and can't come to terms with him, because I remember training with him out in the wild card and couldn't believe how small he is. I was looking at him thinking, like, how are you so good and so effective at, welter, when you're that little? And I was like, couldn't get my head around it. I was thinking, like, how's he so good and so effective? But people seem to struggle, but I do think Terence Crawford's another kettle of fish. I think he's a very, very good fighter, and I see Crawford sort of answering a few questions, having a few problems along the way, but winning on points.
And then final thing, as I've asked your brothers so far, other than Paul, I haven't had a chance to speak to you yet. This past weekend, obviously, saw Evander Holyfield unfortunately suffer that first round stoppage defeat. I just wanted to get your take from seeing him back in the ring, and of course the sad circumstances that followed.
I just don't like. I don't like it. I don't agree with it at all. No, like these fighters coming back 58 years of age and that, it's like career you've had, undisputed champion, and cruiserweight, heavyweight, like unbelievable career, unbelievable fighter, to go, and there's going to be young fighters who'll remember him for that, you know what I mean, and like the ones who went around at the time when he was unbelievable and making history and stuff. But it's just sad to see, it's not nice for a man like that who's given his career to the game, who's sort of had so many highs and give so much to boxing, to sort of finish off like that. It wasn't nice to see, and I wish there'd be sort of, the one thing what I don't like about boxing, there's no sort of head governing body who can say yes and no to things. Things just happen. If you don't get a license in this country, you can go and get one in a different country, and it's a bit sad to see, especially when the medical side comes into it, because it's only going to take someone, getting, I know people have died in the ring in the past, but people getting hurt when basically shouldn't have happened. They'll go, hang on a minute, we've got to do something about this. And I hope to God there can be I don't know what the right thing is, like a head of boxing what can in the future oversee things where they don't let it happen.
Right, Stephen, we will leave it there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Unfortunately, you have to wait for the filming over there to finish before you can move on. But I appreciate you've given up some time today. Thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Well, mate, nice to speak to you as always. Thanks.